able to answer your questions during this time, please email our office at ccs@rider.edu, and we will direct your question to the appropriate person to get that answer for you. And on that note, let's go ahead and get started. Boris.
Hi, I'm Boris Vilic. I'm Dean of the College of Continuing Studies here at Rider, and it's my honor to welcome you as you joined us today for this webinar. We understand that these are difficult, unprecedented times for everybody. So our goal with this webinar today was really to bring together all the resources that we have available at Rider that can help you as you finish off the semester and the future. And hopefully we'll be able to answer any of the questions that you may have about either this semester or the future, or how you can be more successful at Rider. With that, I'll transfer the microphone, so to say, to Angela. Angela?
Yes, thank you. Welcome everybody, and I'm really glad that you're participating in this forum. I'm very proud that CCS was able to put this together for our students. We know we are all going through very stressful and difficult times right now. And again, just rest assured that we're here to help you out. So reach out to your advisor, ccs@rider.edu for any questions. And I'm going to leave the next forum to Thomas Reddington.
Thomas, you're muted.
Hello, my name's Thomas Reddington. I work in the Veterans and Military Affairs Office. The Veterans and Military Affairs Office, or VMAO, is your first stop service. We're here to support you from application to graduation and all things that are unique to being a military-connected student. If you have any type of question or issue with any office at the university or any VA or DoD program, all we ask is for you to give us first crack at solving that issue for you. The VMAO and the staff in the College of Continuing Studies, or CCS, could save you a lot of time, trouble, and worry. The chances are we have already seen your problem before. Let us assist you, especially through these challenging and changing times. Best way to get a hold of us, as always, is to send an email to get the ball rolling, either to veterans@rider.edu or reddingtont@rider.edu. So as the rest of the semester progresses, we'll check in with you from time to time to see how things are going, or contact us to let us know what we can do for you. Next, I'd like to pass the microphone on to our online coordinator, John Gleavy.
Thank you, Thomas. As Thomas just said, my name is John Gleavy. I'm the coordinator for distance learning here at Rider. While normally my role is just supporting the online courses, as well as the faculty that we have in those, that's kind of now encompassing, well, all of our courses since we've made this switch over to remote learning. So my role mostly encompasses a lot of the behind the scenes work. So support, like I had mentioned, supporting faculty, but also supporting some of the student issues as well, if you might ever run into using your online course. Anytime you want any type of assistance, just like normal, you can reach out to the Rider University Information Help Desk. At that point, if your issue is not able to be solved, maybe right away, maybe it's something a little bit more difficult than a password reset, either me or somebody else on the team will be happy to assist you in any way. We totally understand that this is anxiety inducing as it is, and this navigating this new water, but rest assured we have a great team that is here to help you night and day. With that, I'd like to hand it over to Shane Conto from the Academic Success Center.
Hello, everyone. My name's Shane Conto. I'm the Assistant Director of the Academic Success Center, and our department's in charge of providing academic support for all of our Rider students. And with our switch over to remote learning, all of our academic support has also switched over to remote support, utilizing Zoom, Google Hangout, Meet, and email to offer our supports. And I directly supervise over all of our content-based tutoring. So if you have issues with a particular class, I supervise presently around 70 to 80 content tutors that are available to support courses. And we also have support for writing as well, for any of your writing assignments in any of your courses. And we also have our success coaching program, which deals a lot with self and time management, which obviously this is a new situation for our students dealing with all of the changes throughout this situation. And being able to get into a new routine and manage your time is really important. So a very important resource that we offer. And any kinds of questions, you could always reach out to the Academic Success Center email. It's just academicsuccesscenter@rider.edu, or you could reach out to myself directly. My email's Conto, CONTOS @rider.edu. And next up, we have Dr. Candi Stratton.
Sorry, Kathy, looks like you got muted again by accident. Can you try unmuting? There we go.
Better? Okay, sorry about that. So I'm Candi Stratton, and I'm with the Counseling Services Department at Rider. And our office offers support for students for their mental health and well-being, issues like anxiety, depression, relationship concerns, and certainly now with this unprecedented global pandemic, dealing with any kinds of stressors or emotions that students might feel. As with everybody else, our office and services are now being offered remotely. So we provide one-on-one counseling for students who reach out to us either by telephone or through Zoom chats to address any concerns that you might have. Our services are free to all Rider students and they remain confidential. You can set up an appointment by calling our main office number, which is at extension 5157, or you can email us. We have a website, if you search for Counseling Services at Rider, that has a list of referrals for anybody who's interested in either contacting us or referrals and resources about guided meditation, about sleeping, about any of the issues that you might be encountering at this point. The only caveat and thing that has changed now for us as we go online is that there are certain restrictions and regulations about practicing across state lines, and that's varying from state to state. So if you are no longer in New Jersey but home at a different location, we will be able to assist you in finding a referral in your home area if our licenses don't permit us to practice in the state in which you're currently residing. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me or to our office, and I look forward to hearing from you. And with that, I will pass you on to Lindsey Alvarado.
Thank you, Kathy. My name is Lindsey Alvarado, and I'm a career advisor in career development and success at Rider University. Every student at Rider not only has an academic advisor, but also a career advisor to assist them with things such as resumes, cover letters, the job search process, interview skills, or finding a career that is going to fit their values, personality, skills, and interests. We have moved all of our services online and are currently conducting advising appointments by phone and through video conference. If you do not know who your career advisor is or would like to schedule an appointment, the best thing to do is email careers@rider.edu. Let us know what your major is, and we will get you signed up with the advisor that works specifically with your major. With that, I'm going to pass it over to Candi Shafer.
Hi, I'm Candi Shafer. I'm a Senior Assistant Director in the Office of Financial Aid, and I am the assigned designated person for not only our CCS students, but our military-related students as well. In financial aid, obviously, we're there to assist you in the process of securing any federal, state, or institutional funding that you would be eligible for. Assisting the military families, there's some additional counseling that has to take place with that, so we're a good resource to assist in that process. Annually, a student should complete a FAFSA. Rider does have a priority deadline date, that is February 1. Many of our CCS students do not routinely file their FAFSA by that deadline date. It is strongly encouraged that they do. It does help avoid situations and issues later and force problems that they might otherwise have avoided. Other than that, most of the questions right now that we're getting in financial aid are concerning withdrawing from classes based on the situation that's currently occurring, pass-fail grades, and how are we going to process summer financial aid. I believe we'll talk more about that later, and I'll pass it on to Jamie Mitchell.
Thanks, Candi. I'm really happy to be part of this panel today. And I'm the Director of Graduate and Continuing Studies Admission. And we are hearing in our office that people are using this time to think a bit about what their future might look like. And so I wanted to encourage you, if you are thinking about graduate opportunities, whether they're at Rider or at another university, to reach out to our office at GradADM, GRADADM at rider.edu. We'd be happy to set up a Zoom or phone meeting with you to talk about what your graduate school options are, to walk you through. We're getting questions about, I'm working on my graduate school essay. What should that look like? What are the testing requirements? The GRE and the Praxis has moved to an in-home online testing environment, so we can help you through all those questions. So thank you for having me. With that, I'm going to pass it back to Susan.
All right. Thank you, everybody. We are all happy that you are here with us to answer some of these questions. We've had a number of CCS students email us questions, so we're going to answer those first. And let's get to it. Our first question is, and a lot of questions that we've been getting are about the pass no credit option. So one student wrote in and she said, my situation is now drastically different as I have 3 young children who are at home and require homeschooling from me due to school closures. I'm currently in excellent academic standing with a near 4.0 GPA and do not want that compromised by my current situation. I would like to utilize the pass no credit for my 2 spring semester courses and would like more information about the pass option. Boris, could you help us answer that?
I absolutely can. So the university, recognizing that a lot of our students are struggling, may not have optimal environment at home. Some of them who were in classroom-based classes are learning in a new type of environment, passed a policy that applies to the spring semester only. So essentially with the policy, once the student receives the grade, the student can exercise the option to declare it a pass or no credit. So anything a grade of C or higher would be a pass. A grade below a C, so D or an F or a C minus, would be no credit. Some of the things that I would consider if I were a student is how that may impact me. So for example, you know, if you're in a class that's a prerequisite for another class, and if you need to score let's say a B to get into other class, that may be something that you don't take a pass, but you'd rather take a B if you're in the B. Some of our student athletes who have eligibility requirements, the university notified them, they still have to maintain the credit, so the no credit option is not available to them. In all cases, I would always encourage every student to, when they make the decision, to reach out to their advisor in the College of Continuing Studies and discuss the options so that they can, equipped with the information, really decide what is the best possible option for them. I expect that for many, many, many of our students, this is, it's really helping them so that, as Susan mentioned, for students who are worried about maintaining a high GPA, of students who really are struggling in this semester and were not able to catch up on course materials, this not impacting their GPA, because unlike an F or a D, a no credit will not have an impact on a student's GPA. So we, like many institutions across the country, implemented this policy, really thinking of our students first and foremost, and making sure that we minimize the impact on the pandemic on their studies. I think that's it for me. So Susan.
Okay. All right. Thanks for that, Boris. I know a lot of our students are concerned about that. So if you do want to talk to someone in our office about your current situation, please feel free to email us at ccs@rider.edu.
Yes, another topic that has arisen during this time is summer sessions. And I want to direct this question to Boris again. There are students asking, is summer 1 going to be totally online, offer online?
So the university is still exploring all the options. In reality, if you look at the summer offerings, most of our summer classes were online to begin with, because even students who may live locally, but during the summer months, over the years, students have asked us for more flexibility in offering more online courses. So I expect that very shortly there will be an announcement coming out of the Provost's office that will clarify the summer options. Clearly, with the governor's extending the order for sheltering in place and closure of schools until May 7th, some of this is not just in Rider's hands. We are following the advice of the Secretary of Higher Education and the governor's office. And as always, the safety and security of our students and faculty and other members of our community is really the primary consideration when making these decisions. That said, I would say what I always say to students, whether in the pandemic or not, we have never held students up from graduation. We have always worked with faculty to make sure that students have courses that they need to graduate. So anybody who is worried, even if something is not offered in the summer, reach out to your CCS advisor, talk to them about your concerns. We have always been able to enable our students to graduate on time. So I'm just bringing that up because that's not pandemic related. It's just our standard operating practice, if you will. But it is something that students, it can cause unnecessary anxiety when a quick phone call or an email to your advisor can resolve the issue.
Yes, and another follow-up question to that, to Summer, and actually goes to Candi to answer if a student is asking, I'm interested in taking 2 classes this summer at Rider. How does financial aid with summer courses work?
Okay, well, summer financial aid works typically where the student will fill out a summer financial aid application for the financial aid office. And that will show what the enrollment plan is and what the intentions are for summer. So a student who's taking 6 credits may still have federal eligibility remaining that we could offer a part financial aid award. Or sometimes the students, and most typically, they've already used all their funding eligibility through the course of the regular fall spring term. But by filling out the summer financial aid application, which is available online, I believe Angela, CCS has it on their website as well as the financial aid office. But if you go to rider.edu/FINAID, FINAID, towards the bottom of that page, you will see the link for the summer financial aid application. What will happen is a review will be conducted in the financial aid office, and the student will be communicated with via email, advising them if they do have any funding available, what that funding is and how much of that funding they have. If they do not, or a combination thereof, they would be given a dollar amount that they could borrow supplementally if they wanted to borrow the funds to cover their summer billing. And they always have the option of working with our bursar's office in establishing a payment arrangement.
Thank you, Candi.
Yeah, that's great, Candi. If you guys are looking for more information about summer and summer financial aid, you can just go to rider.edu/summer, and we'll continually update those pages as we get more information. And in addition to financial aid for our CCS students, we have a number of military and veteran students that want to know about their aid and how their aid has been impacted. One student writes in, now that my classes are online, how does that affect my military benefits? Thomas.
That's a great question.
Oh, there you go.
That's a great question because under DOD and VA programs, there was a distinction between attending class and having an online class. But the President of the United States just signed Senate Bill 3503, which gives the Department of Veteran Affairs the authority to continue GI Bill payments uninterrupted in the event of a national emergency. So this new law allows for the VA and the DOD to continue to pay educational benefits regardless of the fact that the program was changed from resident training to online training. So your benefits will continue.
That's great. We have some veterans that are also concerned about their housing. How does that get impacted?
Well, this is a huge concern because we have many veterans, dependents on educational benefit programs where they count on their monthly housing allowance to pay the bills and the rent. And before, if they were switched to online, those payments would stop. But because of Senate Bill 3503, students will continue to receive the same monthly housing allowance payments that they received for resident training until January 1st, 2021, or until the school resumes normal operations of resident training. The VA is working to immediately implement these new changes to address current and future school terms to ensure students continue to receive their educational benefits. So they're already looking ahead into the summer and the fall to ensure that if a student has had their training or their classes changed out of their control, that their benefits and especially their monthly housing allowance will continue.
Thanks, Thomas.
Also, many of our students, I know we all are juggling a lot, our students especially, and it's taking a toll on them. There's a question here that I'm going to direct to Dr. Stratton. A student asked, I'm working remotely, trying to homeschool my kids and struggling to keep up with school myself. I'm overwhelmed and I just need some guidance in trying to cope with all of this. Dr. Stratton, would you mind answering that question?
Sure, I think it's a great question, and it's a very common question because I think for all of us, we're facing very unprecedented times. And so we're not at home just because we're at home working remotely, we're at home because we're facing a global pandemic. And with that comes so many other demands, expectations, worries on all of our minds and all of our times. And so when people are trying to juggle as much as they are right now, and trying to navigate their way through uncharted territory, it can really elevate anxieties and stresses. And so I think one thing that I'd like students to know is that we are available in our office to talk to students, to help them to try to navigate and to be a sounding board and to come up with some strategies about how to manage all of these things, and as well as setting reasonable expectations that, many of us, most of us have not been trained to teach young children, and yet our children are at home needing to learn that we're also trying to work and to go to school. And so it's really helping you to figure out what you can and can't reasonably do and how to help you to maintain some semblance of balance in your own lives. And so we're more than happy to talk to you about your unique situation and hopefully to help you to feel a little bit more grounded during these times.
Thank you so much, Dr. Stratton. I know we can all relate to that. And actually, one of our students was actually mentioned that they are struggling with that work-life balance, and they do have to find those special pockets of time to reach out to their faculty. Boris, I'm going to direct this question to you. Someone came in and asked about faculty members extending their office hours outside of their regular campus-based times that are posted on their syllabi. How would they get in touch with their faculty members?
So I would say Rider has about 500 different faculty teaching currently, full-time and part-time. And every faculty member across the college may handle their office hours differently. Some of them may schedule Zoom sessions. Some of them may call you if you request a phone call. Some of them are available for support via email. With any course-related concerns, my advice is always to talk to the faculty. By and large, our faculty really want to see students succeed. Some of our students feel, oh, I don't want to bother my faculty member, when in fact, most of our faculty really see that as a positive, that students is reaching to them for help. So I always advise students, anytime you struggle within a course, just communicate with your faculty member, let them know what's going on, ask their assistance. They have been through this with so many other students so many times, so they're really equipped to best to help you really be successful in their class. And they're the one who really knows what is going on in the class and what strategies may be helpful. to help you. The other, as Shane alluded before, we do have content tutors for classes, and some of our faculty have embedded tutors in their classes. We have specific tutors that specialize for specific faculty because they know the types of assignments the faculty member is giving. I see Robert Lackey here from the library here too. Our reference librarians are ready to help students with any research in the library and can co-teach. For example, when I teach my graduate level class, I co-teach it with one of our professor librarians, some aspects of it. So the number one thing for students is communicate. Don't assume that it's a show of weakness or that somebody may think that you're a poor student because you may be struggling with the course. It's actually from the faculty, and when I'm in the classroom, I want to hear when my students are struggling. So reach out to them, send them an email. If they do have drop-in Zoom hours, drop in, talk to them. And if you have trouble connecting with your faculty member, your CCS advisor is always there to help support you. We work with our faculty closely, we know them. We can talk to them as well. So the worst thing I think for a student to do is not to say anything to anybody if they're struggling. But like I said, I always encourage everybody to talk to the faculty.
Yes, a follow-up question to that concern that students have now that they're all taking courses remotely is, of course, the dreaded word technology. And one of our students asked, I take my classes really late at night. What if I have a technical issue after business hours? So John, do you want to answer?
Sure. So that's a really good question, Angela. And that's one that has been coming up frequently, especially tying off of what another student had wrote in that Dr. Stratton was just covering. Well, especially now, if I have kids at home that I'm taking care of, I'm probably not getting a chance to work on my course until late at night. And so while the Rider University Help Desk does not necessarily have full staffing after 5 o'clock, students should always remember that they can access Canvas support directly 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And the way students can access those Canvas resources at any page that they're in within Canvas, even if they're on their phone, there is a little question mark help icon on the left-hand side navigation pane. And when students click on that, they can see a few different options to get in touch with Canvas support, including a live chat, being able to email them, or there's even an 844 number they could dial directly. And just so you know, and you can go ahead and see that within Canvas, that number is 844-551-6796. And like I mentioned, anytime when you're in Canvas, by clicking on that little help icon on the left-hand side, or if you're on your phone in the top right-hand corner, you can be taken to all of those support resources.
Yes, and to follow up on that, John, other students have been asking about having trouble claiming their writer key or accessing Canvas. What would be a quick way for them to solve those issues?
So their writer key or any password issue for that matter can always be a little bit tricky because sometimes you can't even necessarily get into the help resources without that writer key. So there's a couple of different ways to go about it. If you're really struggling and the only thing that you can really get into is, say, your personal email, you can always email the Rider Help Desk by just emailing helpdesk@rider.edu with what your issue is, and then one of the technicians would be able to get in touch with you. And there's also a self-service password reset that you can go through at any time by just navigating to myrider.rider.edu and clicking on the Rider key information on the right-hand side. But that's definitely a frequent one as well.
I imagine you're getting a lot of technology-related questions, John. Thank you for that. Obviously, a lot of students are facing some challenges as they've moved on to this remote learning modality. We have one student who wants to know, since classes have moved online, I'm having a hard time keeping up. Is there tutoring available for me online? Shane, would you be able to help them out with that?
Yeah, so we're offering still a wide variety of different forms of academic support remotely now that the whole university is working remotely. And actually, to build off of somewhat of what Boris mentioned earlier, so with our more intensive supports like supplemental instruction, embedded tutoring, our tutors are still working closely with the faculty and offering some forms of support. Even some of the classes where we have large group SI sessions, we're still doing those sessions through Zoom. And in terms of any particular class having difficulties with the content of the class, we still have our student staff as well as our professional staff available. So as an example, I tutor accounting and MSD courses for the Norm Brazzi College of Business. So if we don't have student tutors, we try our best to see if any of our staff members can also jump in. We're tutoring through Zoom, we're tutoring through Google Meet. For our writing assignments, we do offer a Zoom and Google Meet sessions, but we also have our online writing lab where students can email in a writing assignment to writinglab@rider.edu and within 24 to 48 hours get feedback on their writing assignment. We've also had some concerns where certain students don't have the access to camera and wouldn't be able to work through having the Google Meet sessions or Zoom. So we've had structured email correspondence sessions as well over the past couple weeks. So the important thing is if you're feeling like you're struggling in a particular class, please reach out to Academic Success Center at rider.edu, and one of our staff members will make sure that we're able to figure out a support to make sure that you're getting a better understanding in your class or your assignments, and also support that's going to work for you in your present situation.
Thank you so much, Shane. That's awesome. Another aspect of our students' worries is obviously their careers, and some of our adult students have been unable to work remotely, and they're looking for other job opportunities or career exploration. So this question, I'm going to direct this question to Lindsay. A student asked, how can career services help me find another job?
Sure. Well, the services that we provide, such as resume reviews, reviewing, interview preparation, job search strategy, we're able to help you just as we always have. Now, there are some unique situations when job searching in a pandemic. This is not something anyone's done before. And the economy is a little bit rocky right now. So one of the things I'm seeing is a little bit in a delay of hiring right now in non-essential businesses. Financial services and banking does still seem to be hiring. So if a student is interested in a career in that path, they do seem to be doing a lot of interviewing right now. However, it is virtual interviewing. So anyone who is looking for a job change right now, please know that when you apply for the position, chances are you're going to be doing a video interview through Skype, Zoom, etc., for them to get to know you. And then that start date might be delayed based off of when their business will be up, running, and functional right now. For any students who unfortunately have been laid off or furloughed during this time, I do suggest that you check out the unemployment benefits in your state. Many states do have some robust websites right now with information to help you during this time. But I would suggest all job seekers at this time to work twice as hard, applies to twice as many positions, to leverage their personal and professional network to identify opportunities, and to be persistent. Job searching is going to be a little bit more difficult right now in the next couple months, but I do have a feeling that things will look better towards the end of the year.
So thank you so much for that, Lindsay. I'm sure a lot of our students will find that information very helpful, and great that they'll be able to reach out to you for any additional support that they need. Kind of along the lines of that, with the delay in hiring and with these changes in how businesses are going to be changing their model of the hiring process. We do have some students that are actually kind of shifting what they plan to do after graduation, and that is considering grad school. So Jamie, one of our students is asking if this is a good time to be considering grad school, if you can help them out.
Sure, no problem. Thanks, Susan. For adults, even given without the additional stress of a pandemic, thinking about graduate school, there are so many things that adult learners are juggling. They're juggling probably work situations, family situations, social situations, and how does a grad school, how does that fit into all the things that I'm juggling? And so one of the things that we always tell people is that when it is right for you, that's the time to jump in. And the great thing about Rider is that we have, you know, the Rider faculty, and you know that you will have the successes. We are not a weed out graduate program where we accept lots of people and we expect that we're going to weed quite a few out. We accept people and get them started in programs because we want them to be successful. Based on what Lindsay was saying about the changes in the job market, this might be a good time to think about grad school, to retool and plan for when the market rebounds and position yourself for a new career. Also too, we do have the 4+1 option. So if students are finding that they might have an additional slot in their schedule, you can start many of our graduate programs as part of your undergraduate program, save some money on that graduate tuition, roll it into your undergrad tuition, and get started that way. So we're always here to help you to talk through your options.
And on that note, we do have a student who is inquiring about scholarships, actually for both grad school and for CCS. So Candi, can you address that about scholarships?
Sure. So your graduate scholarships are actually part of the graduate school admission process. So Jamie would have the opportunity and her staff to review information, and they would determine if you would qualify for a scholarship. You would be advised what that is. But the scholarship amounts vary based upon the program that they're admitted into, and it also depends upon their enrollment. So there are scholarship opportunities available for our graduate students. Although limited, they are viewed upon admission and advised accordingly. As far as the CCS student, there are scholarship opportunities posted on the website. One of the more popular ones is the Charlotte W. Newcomb Scholarship. That requires an annual application. We're preparing to issue the application for next fall, and they'll have a deadline which hasn't been established yet. I'm expecting that we're going to be extending all kinds of deadlines under the current situation. But that information is provided to the students via email. We work with our registrar's office to determine which students are meeting the criteria. And those are the students that will be corresponded to via email, have the information provided that the application is available, and encouraging them to apply. So those are typically what we see. And then the other opportunity for them, the Rider one-stop area, and I believe in CCS posts as well, scholarship opportunities for certain populations of students. So Rider one-stop utilizes Facebook as a place where they post scholarship opportunities as they become available for all of our students. College and continuing studies students, because often many of them attend part-time, they don't have the same scholarship opportunities that a full-time student would have. So they're a little bit more limited, and that's why CCS and the financial aid pages both have scholarships specifically noted that that population of student would be better suited for. Does that help?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much, Candi. I know, again, a lot of our students are appreciating all of these answers, and I think that does it for most of our questions. So if you were on this chat and not able to have your question addressed, we do ask that you reach out to us at ccs@rider.edu. If we aren't able to answer your question through our office, obviously we have a number of other resources throughout the university that can address your concerns. So I do thank all of our very special guests today, all of the panelists, and I thank the rest of you for joining us today, and I hope you found this to be very helpful. And with that, I will let you have the rest of your afternoon back. Thanks for joining us, everyone.